Hey good people, Tiffany Javon here back with another video, and today we're actually going to talk about current news, right? Like news that just hit today, actually late last night. And today we're going to talk about the ban of TikTok. Like something is going on with TikTok. I logged on. I'm actually going to show you guys the screenshot that I took of the ban from the TikTok company, saying that that the U.S. was no longer able to access the platform and the app, and people were breaking down. I just want to say, like, seriously, like, if you built a TikTok following and you love TikTok, this probably, and TikTok was maybe one of your main platforms that you were on, this is the perfect time to start building a YouTube channel or whatever the case may be, or do content creation on several different platforms, so that way you don't have to start from scratch in the event that this ban does for some reason stick. Now I'm gonna read, actually, it says app news, and I'm gonna read this quick article because literally, y'all, this is like hot off the press news, right? Like today is January 19th, and it came out January 19th. Okay, so it says, from backing a ban to being hailed as a savior inside Trump's TikTok shift. So apparently, y'all, is saying that Donald Trump was against TikTok, and now he's for it. So it says, during his first term as president, Donald Trump led the effort to ban TikTok. So he actually led the effort to try to get rid of the platform. Then he the hugely popular video sharing site, he said, posed a threat to U.S. national security. But on the eve of his return to the White House, so literally today, right, the president-elect is being hailed as the app's savior. So after going dark for users this weekend, Trump said on his social media site that he would issue an executive order after he's sworn in for a second term on Monday, delaying a TikTok ban. And so that's crazy, because if he's going to delay it, it says so that we can make a deal to protect our national security, and maybe he's going to try to find a buyer for the platform. So that's what it sounds like. He said the order would make clear that companies will not be held liable for violating a law that aimed to force TikTok's sale by China-based parent company. Hours later, the app returned to the relief of its legions of dedicated users. So, thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. So, read the announcement. So, it says Trump's legal authority to unilaterally decide not to enforce the law, which passed with overwhelming bipartisan support in April and was upheld by the Supreme Court on Friday, is unclear. But the rapid developments over the weekend served as a reminder of how dramatically debates over technology, social media, and national security have changed since Trump was last in the White House. It also signaled how close Trump is following those shifts after waging a successful campaign in which he made inroads with voters, in part by harnessing the appeal of some social media platforms. So it seems as though Trump can now take the credit for reviving the app with over 170 million users that is especially popular with younger Americans, many of whom spend hours a day on the platform to get news, make money, and find entertainment. And so let me put a pin there. Like, if you're spending, like I said, if you're spending time on TikTok to get news and to connect with people and different things like that, that's great. But if you're making money, like if this was a money making deal for you, man, that is crazy. If it is shut down, just think about it. Like, if people were like only on TikTok, right? If they only were on TikTok, then literally their money can go away. Now, I would say it would completely go away, especially if if some content creators taking some cues as to like build an email list or build a customer list or whatever case may be, like have the contact information from their customers so they can always market to them, so they'll know who they are, like, or if they have a newsletter or some type of sometimes communication where they're in contact with the people that has bought from them, then they won't necessarily have to start from square one. But can you imagine if it did go through as far as the ban is concerned, and all these 170 million Americans couldn't, or it's 170 million people, period, but the people that are Americans, if we couldn't no longer use TikTok, like if people were making most of their money for just that one platform, like, and they didn't have any access to their clientele or their customers or people that are interacted with, whatever the case may be, like that would be devastating, And I feel like even with the cutting it off and then cutting it back on the same day, hours later, I feel like still people that still made people nervous, right? I feel like that people are still going to be running to other platforms if they don't already, have a second or third platform. They're going to be running to these other platforms. So I think right now is the best time to actually, if you're not already a content creator on YouTube, it's the best time to be, creating content on a platform that that's not going anywhere. It's crazy to me because these platforms that are not based in the U.S., we and when I'm talking about me, I'm talking about the Americans. We can't control them. We don't control them. If they're not here, they're not U.S. based, And if we're into it with that particular country, or we're trying to strike some deal with them, or whatever the case may be, and they want, to strong arm us into making a deal, or they'll cut freaking TikTok off, like, man, that's pretty big. So I wonder, like, I'm gonna keep close to, keep my ear close to the ground on that one. Like, I'm gonna see exactly what happens with that one and see, exactly what people do in the interim. I know people are going crazy. Like, people, like I said, if that's their only platform, they're going crazy. Like, they're trying to figure out, like, how do I, turn this into an opportunity? How do I, maybe switch platforms? Or if nothing else, they're thinking about, man, I need to start, maybe pushing a secondary or a third, platform and not just leaning so much so on TikTok. Maybe some people didn't even know that it was China based or that it was not, an American company. You guys, y'all might want to this might be a time for you to do research on all the apps that you use, like all the apps that you use to make your videos. Because I was hearing that too, like I think CapCut or whatever is like an editing app that actually is accessed through TikTok. So like a lot of people that use CapCut, they might not have a big following on not Instagram, on TikTok, but they use CapCut, which is still, powered through China, to edit their videos for YouTube. So then they would have to choose another editing platform. It's just so many different things that like you gotta make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Like this is what the perfect example of diversification means. Like you have to have diversification in platforms that you're on. You just have to have diversification across the board because you just never know, and you never want to get stuck, up a creek without a paddle. So y'all, I'm glad that I'm on this trajectory with YouTube. I do plan on trying to build on other platforms as well. I want to start with YouTube. Think eventually I may do like a podcast or whatever the case may be, but I know for sure for me, not just getting subscribers, like I want to build a community of people, but also I want to start a newsletter at some point. I'm not ready at this moment, but I do want to start a newsletter probably in the next few months. So that way, just kind of like I was saying with the think tank, I want to do that once a month with some women in business. I want to lock arms with some, women in business. Want us to glean from one another, with all of our experiences and education and ups and downs, or primarily our wins, and then learning from each other's downs, or maybe not really a down, but you just learn how not to do something, right? I just don't believe in like necessarily people just failing and just not learning anything from it. It's like, no, you just learn 100 ways how not to do something, and the one way you learn how to do something that worked for you, so you're gonna want to continue to do more of that thing that worked. And so yeah guys, like this is crazy. Like, what if TikTok, have you ever thought about that? Like, nobody thought about it until like it actually happened, and people were literally like breaking down, like what am I gonna do type breaking down, like, and if nothing else, like this should trigger people to like start trying to, if they don't already have like an email list or a list of their previous customers or their subscribers, or have a community list or a newsletter or a Discord or something that they can keep up with their community. Like, just imagine to have built a big community and to not have their contact information, or not have your community list built out, or a newsletter or something like that, like an email list built out, and to have to start from scratch. And not to say that like it's a scary thing. It's not necessarily scary, because if you've already done it, you know how to do it again. But just to have to start over is the irritating part, I would imagine. to have to just start from scratch, to do something else, do something again that you've already done. You know, yikes. So, y'all, listen. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all heard. You know, what y'all heard about the TikTok ban. I know tomorrow is the inauguration, and we'll see. You know, if Trump goes ahead and temporarily lifts that ban, and if they find a buyer or whatever. But then I heard too, y'all. Listen, I heard that, you know, he was going to temporarily, lift the ban or whatever for them to find a buyer. But I heard that China is not wanting to sell. Like, they don't want to sell TikTok. They want, whoever owns it in China wants to continue to own it. They don't want to sell it. So obviously, if they don't want to sell it, they're going to have to come with the numbers. Whoever it is they want to buy, going to have to really come with the numbers for them to even think about selling. So just imagine, like, I think I heard the temporary ban lift is like 90 days. That's 3 months. So literally, if it really goes dark in 3 months, like, y'all got 3 months to get on the good foot. Craziness. Anyway, I hope you guys found value in this video. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Especially comment. Let me know what you've heard. Let me know kind of, if you're keeping your ears to the ground about this current event. I want to know what, exactly what the people are doing. Okay, are they figuring it out on how to maximize from this opportunity, to draw closer to their community and start, keeping up with their people? Or if this is maybe a wake-up call for some people to say, hey, I've built TikTok up to a certain threshold. Now it's time for me to branch out and build another platform, or at least now it's time for me to transition, because we only have 90 days. So say, for instance, they're 90 days. If that's like, that's it. You run out of runway after that 90 days. So that means between now and 90 days from now, you need to figure out how to transfer your following to another platform. Okay? Well, I hope you guys found value in that. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, like I said. And until my next video, guys, stay blessed. Bye.